just in case you didn't believe me. All right, so we're gonna do a little couple of housekeeping things first. And all right. Okay, everybody should be seeing my screen. Give me a thumbs up if everybody sees it. All right, hopefully this will work too. Okay, so welcome to the Tesla Owners Club of Pennsylvania workshop series. Tonight, we're going to be talking about taking care of your Tesla. And fortunately for us, we now have a sponsor who's trying to help us with being able to bring these workshops and our educational series to you guys. So they're trying to pick up the cost of doing this. So we've been sponsored by CNIC tonight, which is the folks at TeslaRing.com. If you haven't used this or heard about it, I wear one right there on my hand. We'll give you a brief view of what that's about.
This is Tesla Model 3, and this is Tesla key card, which I don't need today because I have a very special Tesla edition sneaker in here, which enables to open and close the doors with a single tap of the finger. Let's open now and see inside how it works. Now to start driving, I have to push the brake down and to tap card here, but instead of card, I will tap here now my ring. It now enables me to drive. Let's go.
Okay, so whoop, there we go. All righty. Anyway, the folks at CNIC helping to sponsor so we can keep these things as free workshops. In addition, if you're not a member of the Tesla Owners Club, here's the information to join. We'll be putting this in the chat periodically. Please join the club. It's what helps us it makes us able to bring these presentations to everybody, and it helps us to support your ownership experience. So it's important that you be a club member. And if you're a club member, you get a 15% discount on the Tesla Ring also. But you'll find there's a lot of other benefits for being a club member. Go to our website, check it out if you haven't already, or talk to any of the club leaders, and we're all happy to go through that with you. So that's our homework for the night. And that will bring us to Mr. Federer. So let me bring up another screen and we'll get started on our presentation for tonight.
Hi, everybody. Hey, thanks for having me here tonight. Really appreciate you taking some time out. I'm Bill Federer. I own Immaculate Paint Protection along with my wife. We are located in Allentown, PA. So Lehigh Valley, we can get right into it. If you want to get to the first slide, please, John. So I guess it's not really an existential question. Why are we here tonight? I'm assuming you all own Teslas. You want your car looking great. And I kind of want to provide some information for you. I'm not looking to sell you tonight, but I'm looking to help the group, help get some information out there. Next point is the paint protection. It's a great big confusing topic. I know we talked about that. I think that's why there was so much interest in here. It can get very consuming and confusing. So I'm going to answer some common questions for you. We're going to provide you with some pro tips and tricks along the way. We're going to help make you a more educated shopper. And then at the end, we're going to help show you how to wash and how to really maintain your vehicle. That's a good point there. The other thing here is just, unfortunately, this is maybe how I get to pique your interest tonight. Paint protection, it's a great product. That's why I stand behind it and I really love what I do every day. Unfortunately, there's some unethical players in the market right now that are taking the name paint protection and they're preying on people. So, do your education and you'll be safe. And then hopefully too, the last point here, John, we get down to that, is that, if I do my job right tonight and it help educate you guys, you'll be educated, you'll be a smart consumer, you'll make a great decision, and you'll be able to help the next person in the Tesla family. We can go to the next slide. So a little bit about me. Look, I really love cars. This is my passion. I started detailing cars when I was in middle school. I think I wrote a 6th grade paper, 6th or 7th grade, about how to wash your car. And I don't know, they marked it up because I said rims instead of wheels or something. But God bless him, he's no longer here. But my dad, he made me go to college. So I have an industrial engineering degree from Kettering University. If that means anything. It used to be GMI. Before that, it was General Motors Institute. So it was a full co-op school. I grew up in California, and I actually was in the NUMMI plant, which, if you know the history, it used to be a GM plant, Toyota, General Motors, a joint venture, and then that is now what is the Tesla plant today in Fremont, California. How did I get my business going? I knew about paint protection in the early 2000s. Bought a really nice car. Was a young single guy, bought a super hot Cadillac, drove that around, had 150,000 miles on it, went to trade it in. I realized how bad it looked just on the front end, it was all torn up. Bought the next car, put paint protection film on the next car, drove 100,000 miles, and the resale value was amazing. My wife bought a brand new car and said, hey, we're going to put paint protection film on it. And she wasn't going to let me do it because I didn't know what I was doing. So we looked around, we found a professional to do it for us. And it was hard to find somebody that knew what they were doing. That kind of springboard the whole idea of getting the paint protection film and servicing that market. We can get down to the last point, John. So the company, so about 2016, 2017, I developed a relationship with the 3M. They make a really nice film. They helped get me trained. I spent 2016, 2017 working on paint protection film. Was working, back up. We were working, I'm an industrial, like I said, I'm an industrial engineer. So I was working as a project manager for a major engineering company. And then 2018 is when the business became LLC official. So I spent a lot of time before I actually became official learning the craft and getting paint protection film installation done.
Yeah. Hey, Bill, you can just, we'll make it easy. Just point at the screen when you want me to move to the next. Yeah, that's it.
Perfect. I'll do that. Okay. We got it down. I figured about the third slide, we figured this out. Thanks for bringing it.
I know, bud.
So let me just get humble for a second. I just told you how awesome I am, and you didn't come here to hear me talk about myself tonight. So if it wasn't for my wife, I wouldn't be here. She's been a great big support to us. I'm really blessed to have awesome vendors standing behind me. We have Premium Shield, S-Tech, Gion Ceramic Coatings. Love those guys. They've been really instrumental in helping me grow my business and bring the best to my clients. And it really comes down to my clients too. In the pre-meeting, did some analysis. Over 50% of my business is referrals or repeats. So look, let me be honest. I can fool you once, but to fool you the second and third time and have you bring your hard-earned money. And I get it. When you buy these vehicles, are expensive. They really are. And for you to entrust us with your brand new vehicle is a huge honor. So that's fundamentally who I am and what I'm doing and why my company's standing behind our stuff. So we'll go there. We got 3 main topics tonight. I've already talked about it. I really don't want to sell, but we're going to talk about paint protection film. That stops the rock chips and the stone chips. Ceramic coating. It's an amazing shine. So we'll get that. And then I think you're all here for this. We'll have some dirty talk at the end. We'll get to there. And that's going to be how to clean your Tesla. So Here's all you need. Just pay attention. 3 points. Paint protection film, rock chips, stone chips. Ceramic coating is for amazing shine and make it easy to clean. And how do you wash your Tesla? Very carefully. That's all you need to remember. So you can bail out now, and I'm, as far as I'm concerned, I've got you educated. But just bear with me again. We're figuring this out, guys. I'm like 4 or 5 years removed from corporate, so I'm still learning Zoom here a little bit. So we'll get to that. The basics of paint protection film. So paint protection film, you have a smartphone, you have an iPhone.
Images coming in from Surfside. This is just north of Miami Beach. Dozens of rescue teams.
Ken, is that you?
No.
Okay, yeah, if you guys can stay on mute, I appreciate it. Okay.
Okay, ready?
Yep.
So if you think about the smartphone, cell phone protective cover you put on your screen, that's what paint protection film is. It's a different film, it's a little thicker. We can go into the next point. So it's a clear polyurethane film. We've talked about rock chips, stone chips, and then I got one more. Here's the assembly diagram on it. So it's multi-layer, so it's adhesive, TPU, that means thermoplastic. So that's the impact layer, a clear coat. The clear coat's gonna act like a clear coat on your paint, so that's gonna give you some UV protection. And it's also gonna have some self-healing properties. Self-healing properties means any light marring, you won't have to polish it anymore, it'll self-heal up. So that's a really good thing. Last 2 points, please. And then PPF, paint protection film, it's going to be a professional only install. I know that there's some videos out there of, hey, look, we saved hundreds of dollars by doing PPF ourselves. Just trust me, you don't want to do this yourself. I mean, I've spent thousands of dollars learning this craft and lots of bad words, inventing new bad words. We have a plotter behind us. Originally to start, I talked to the 3M distributor, and he told me within industry, the attrition rate for paint protection films installers. So when he said for every 100 people that go through their training class, only one sticks around as paint protection film for more than a year or two. So I don't know. You think about that. If the guy who's doing paint protection film's only been doing it for 6 months or 8 months, I would be skeptical of letting them work on my car. And I know that's a little salesy. I won't get too deep into that, but that's what we're looking at there, guys. So it's an art form. The paint protection film. So we use patterns. So what you're looking at here on the screen, this is actually Model S. So it's a 3D car in 2D form. So it's actually the rear bumper, the front fenders, the rear quarter panels. We used a computer cut. So those are some engineers have taken the Model S, they've laid the film onto it, and they've got this figured out. The benefit here is we're cutting the film on a computer that's right behind me with a plotter. So, and we're not trimming on your car. Somebody's not cutting into the paint on your vehicle, which is a big thing to talk about. Next slide. One more. So there's the plotter. That's the paint protection film coming through as we're feeding it. So that plotter, inside information here, that plotter's $10,000 behind me. So that was a big investment to get this up and going. There's a big debate. People, and I see this play out within to the Tesla community quite a bit. They'll try to tell you that a custom install is a better install. It's better, it's far superior to than the computer cut, the cutter kits. Look, I'm wrapping edges. I'm wrapping into your frunk. I'm wrapping your hood. I'm wrapping into the fender wells. I'm wrapping into the door jambs with the computer. The only places we're not wrapping into is right around the headlights. So the secret or the end point is that we can back up one. I'm not just there yet. It's okay. I know I move my hands too much for you. I'm sorry. That's my fault, John, not you. Okay.
No, it's all right, man. We'll get in sync.
So somebody's telling you they're doing custom, make sure they have years and years and years of experience to do this. So if the guy's been installing film for 20 or 30 years, well, 20 or 30 years ago, there wasn't computer plotters available that were available, and the patterns weren't available 20 or 30 years ago. So they had no choice but to do it custom. The other point too, that when they do custom work is typically they're taking headlights off, they're taking bumpers off, they're doing a lot of disassembly on the vehicle. If you're okay with your brand new vehicle being taken apart, fine, have custom done. If it was my vehicle, that's something I wouldn't do. I just, in my shop, I don't want to assume the risk of taking these vehicles apart, especially, and I don't see any value added benefit in taking a vehicle apart to put paint protection film on it when we can do an adequate job with a pre-engineered computer cut kit. Now we can go to the next slide. Basics of paint protection film. So what we're looking at here, guys, is this is a Toyota minivan with 141,000 miles on it. I know you came here for Tesla tonight. I'm showing you Toyota. I'm showing you this Toyota because in my professional opinion, the Toyota paint is the closest paint I've seen analogous to the Tesla paint. It's real soft. It polishes. It paint corrects about the same way. And Toyota is arguably probably one of the premier or the best manufacturer of automotives on the planet. So this is what's your vehicle is going to look like. 140 miles, 140,000 miles, maybe 40,000 miles. The other thing that goes along with the Teslas too is the geometry of the vehicle. Think about your Model 3. You have basically a flat plane that's just pushing air up the front there. That's going to grab all the rocks and the stones. If anybody does have a Tesla and it looks like this, if you could either send me a picture or get to my shop, I would love that to have an actual visual of what a Tesla looks like. I occasionally run into people and they'll say, oh my God, my Tesla has 30,000 miles. I really wish I would have known about paint protection before. We'll talk about when to buy paint protection.
Yeah. Hey, Bill, we have a question in the chat
Cool.
that just about whether or not PPF affects somebody's lease, since the lease requires the car be unmodified.
Yeah, I've never run into that to being an issue. I mean, if anything, it would increase the value. I do know that like on the super high-end cars, like the McLarens or some of the Ferraris that are hundreds of thousands of dollars, they almost will require you to put paint protection film on because they don't want to run the risk of all the paint damage and the diminished value of the vehicle like that. Paint protection film, when properly done, should be virtually invisible. I mean, you're gonna see some lines and you're gonna see some film. It's a semi-permanent protective layer that's engineered and designed to come off the vehicle in the future. And it's designed to come off the vehicle in the future to maintain the value of it. So if you can think about driving your vehicle for 70 or 80,000 miles and being able to take this film off the car and have brand new paint, factory fresh paint there, that's pretty amazing. So I'll make this point now because I think this segues to this. Hopefully this answers this person's question. If you have paint protection film on your current car and you're going to trade it in, I recommend to my clients to not take the film off. So do not take the paint protection film off your car before you trade it in. And here's why. Let's think about this for a second. You take the paint protection film off your vehicle with 60 or 70,000 miles on, and the car looks brand new and it's freshly painted. Nobody's going to believe you that it's got 60 or 70,000 miles on. Their first thought is going to be that this car has been in an accident and been resprayed. And anytime a car has been in an accident, has been resprayed and had body work done to it, the value is going down. So I would rather, you're better off trading a vehicle in with paint protection film that does maybe show some age, that maybe abraded a little bit, and let the next person go, oh my God, this is great. Thank you. You've protected this vehicle. So that's what I would say there. But let's just be honest about paint protection film in a leased vehicle. I'd have a real hard time selling paint protection film to somebody that's leasing it for a couple of years because I think that's going to be covered on under wear and tear. I think at that point, we should honestly say, let's talk about a ceramic coating, and you should have the benefits of a ceramic coating and make the car shinier and easier to wash during that 3 years, and let the bank, take the diminished value on the rock chips on that. So that's how I would advise you from a purely financial perspective on that. So if, and I guess, okay, I'll answer one more thing and then we can move on unless there's more questions around lease. I have the times we're in a weird market now. And hopefully I'm not talking in circles here. We're in a weird market right now with the car market that all of these vehicle prices, the used car market has gone through the roof. I just had a client come in with a Toyota Supra. I did his Hellcat. He was leasing this Hellcat. And you're like, well, why would you do a lease car bill? You just said not to. For this gentleman, it made sense. He's a young guy. He's going to go drive the car fast. He's going to do road rallies. So he wanted to protect the bumper of the Hellcat. With being a lease vehicle and the fact that the prices are through the roof right now, he was actually able to get out of lease, sell the car, make some money off of lease. And now he's leasing the Supra, and he wanted paint protection film on it because he's thinking he's either going to sell it and make some money, or he's thinking that he potentially may buy it, but the lease financially made sense for him. So if there's any indication that you think you're going to be in that vehicle long-term past the lease, then yeah, maybe it does make financial sense to put the paint protection film on it right away. But
Yeah,
if you know you're going to just drive that car for 3 years and get rid of it, let's not talk about paint protection.
yeah, and actually, Tesla leases usually do not have a buyout at the end of the lease. They won't let you buy the car.
Yeah. So then there's, I mean, look, if you're that type A personality and you can't stand the rock chips, then that's what you're going to have to tell me for me to install the film for you. Because look, I'm end of the day, I'm a pretty ethical dude. And I'm not, I'd rather not sell somebody and have them refer me than, I'm looking to build long-term relationships. So that's what I see right there in lease. So thank you for that information, John.
Yep,
It's good to
no
know.
problem. No problem. Yeah, someone else just asked real quick about how long does PPF last?
Great point, and we'll get to it, but let me answer it right now for you. So paint protection film, it's okay. You're looking for any film should have a minimum of 10-year warranty on it. Those are the top tier films. There are some films out there that have a 5-year warranty. Personally, those aren't available in my shop. I won't install those. The 10-year films have the increased top coat. That means they're going to look better longer. There are some films that have, a lifetime warranty on them. That's a warranty, not a guarantee, is what they'll explain to you. So I would think somewhere between 5 to 10 years is a reasonable life expectancy. You hear 5 years, and 5 years is if you drive that car really hard, it's in some harsh environment, it's on the road a lot, and let's say we're talking 150,000 miles, 200,000 miles in 5 years, that's probably realistic. If it's a garage queen and you only take it out on nice days, 10 years, no problem to do that. It's engineered to come off the vehicle. I advise people, look, if you're going to keep the car year 9, 10, let's talk about maybe taking the film off the car. I don't like the film to go on there way past the, shelf life of it, because we don't know what's going to happen. I mean, 30 years from now, it's going to probably have a problem taking the film off, but 5 to 10 years, it's a semi-permanent solution. So
Yeah,
I would say it's
Bill, Vic is asking, I think, a pretty good question too. Do you recommend putting ceramic coating over the PPF?
Okay, great. Yeah. So Vic has it in the right order. We always do paint protection film first. When we always do paint protection film when the car is brand new. If you can get your brand new Tesla from Devon, from New Jersey to my shop, and please just resist the urge to go drive it. Just drive it up here. I know you want to be in it, but just drive the 60, 70 miles from there to my shop. We'll install the film. Do the film first. Ceramic coating on top of the film, I don't, it's not mandatory. I don't sell it that way. And I don't think it's necessary. My two films, my Preem Shield does not have a ceramic coating on it. We can put a ceramic coating on top. If we do a ceramic coating on the whole vehicle, we'll always coat the film. And that's great. That makes the film easier to wash and easier to clean. I use a specific paint protection film ceramic coating. The S-Tech film we have, our top tier or more expensive option, has a ceramic infused coating from the manufacturer in the film. So it's kind of like two birds with one stone right there. So if that's really nice if you're not going to do a ceramic coating on the full vehicle at the time. Right now, guys, we're going through bug season. So you're driving your car and you get all these bugs on that. That Aztec is super easy to clean. It's really nice to get the bugs off on that. So yeah.
Okay.
Look, I don't know. I've never sold people on a ceramic. Let me choose my words carefully here and be very professional.
Yeah.
If somebody is selling you the ceramic coating because they're, hey, look, here's what they're saying. Here's where it comes into. It's a sales technique. They're going to get you for $2,000 and they're going to scare you. Hey, you just made a $2,000 investment in this film. For a couple hundred extra dollars, should you put a ceramic coating on it? And yeah, maybe, but I don't, it's not necessary. It shouldn't be necessary. How about that? Is that professional?
That's perfect.
Okay.
We have a couple more questions here. I know we get to one of them. Elizabeth, we get to your question in a little bit. We have a question from Spence, says, how does road salt affect PPF?
Great question. So paint protection film, the road salt should not affect it. And my answer to that is it should be covered under the warranty, under discoloration. Films are guaranteed not to yellow anymore. Look, I would rather have the PPF getting road salt on it than the metal surfaces or the painted surfaces on it. And think about this too, the fact that you have paint protection film on the front end, that thermoplastic is essentially taking impact and we're not chipping. The reason they paint cars is to stop them from rusting. And now it's aesthetics. So let's have the film take the impact and then it can't rust out. So great question. I think that I would put it on as a salt preventative measure. You know, you probably don't see it on this Toyota here, but you know, you go look at any of these paint chips and they start to rust out. So if you have paint protection film on this vehicle, you wouldn't see the paint chips and you won't see the rust coming through. The new vehicle and the paint, guys, it's just thinner. It is. Every manufacturer is thinner. It's probably the thinner paints look a little bit better, but it's also it's also faster and cheaper. So that's why they're doing less paint on these vehicles.
Okay. So based on what you just said, it sounds, you know, everybody has said, well, Tesla's paint is particularly thinner than the other manufacturers. It sounds like that's not true, Bill. It sounds like this is an industry-wide issue.
Yeah, it's an industry-wide standard. And I was going to talk about this later, but we'll just talk about it right now, guys. So as I said earlier, I'm an industrial engineer from Kettering University. I went to school in Flint, Michigan. I've worked for major auto manufacturers. I've been in major auto manufacturing plants. Industrial engineer, for people that don't know, that is efficiency engineer. I'm the guy to make things faster, cheaper. In the manufacturing operations, the bottleneck operation, which means the limiting factor of how many cars they can produce a day, is always the paint shop. So that's why, if you remember a few years ago when Tesla was just getting up and running, and Elon was living at the plant on and sleeping on the sofa there, they put a tent outside and they were able to build Teslas outside. Well, they're able to build Teslas outside because they can ramp that up quickly. That was a really smart move on his part. But they didn't build 4 tents because they could only build 1 tent because that's all they could. They couldn't paint any more cars, if that makes sense. So what happens is, just like everything else in life, guys, you know the job that gets rushed or has the least amount of time is always the one that's probably done the worst. So, 3-4 years ago, you'd see a lot of issues with paint coming from Tesla. And that's just because they were rushing it. They were trying to get every car out. They were trying to keep the vision alive and keep the company from going bankrupt, is my professional opinion on what happened there as an engineer. So do I think Tesla has bad paint? No, I don't. Do I think there's some imperfections in it? Yes, I do. Should we lose sleep over it? No. I mean, let's look at the fact that we got an awesome vehicle that's Tesla. That's changing the industry, pushing people, and Ford's coming out with an F-150 pickup now, probably because Tesla's doing so well, not because they wanted to, if you get real. So look, paint protection film makes sense on any vehicle. Paint protection film really got big with Teslas because look, you guys are smart as Tesla owners. You guys are smart. You're investing a lot of money in your new vehicle, and you guys really like technology. So here's the thing: paint protection film. And once you understand the technology of it, and once people adopt this technology, they put it on every vehicle. I've never had anybody come to me and say, I had paint protection film on my last vehicle and it was a waste of money. So let me bring that point up. So there's two answers if you go ask the internet, should I buy paint protection film? The first answer is, no, that's a waste of money. I would never do that. Well, those people are wrong. And those people, they're not speaking from experience. They never say, oh, it's a waste of money because I had it on 3 other vehicles before and they didn't do anything. They're just, what they're basically saying is they can't afford it, which is fine. I get that. My product, our product is not for everybody, but to say it's not valuable, you can't do that. And the other group of people said, oh my God, I would never drive a vehicle again without paint protection on it, paint protection film. So, I mean, my easiest sells are the people that come in and say, I've had paint protection film before, could you do it for me? Even better than that are the guys that come in and they go, yeah, I did paint protection film on my last car, and I did it myself. And that's why I'm here. I mean, I'll tell you a quick story. I did paint protection film from one guy. He said, I've done this in a couple cars. It was a brand new Lincoln. I asked him, he said, is this your wife's car? He goes, yeah. I said, well, will you bring her into the shop? I'll walk her over the job. She walked right up to the Lincoln. She goes, oh my God, Bob, this looks so much better than anything you've ever done. And then she said, Bob, you should bring him your other 2 cars. So at the end of the month, this guy, Bob, had brought me a Lincoln, a Mustang, and his Ford Fusion. And he was apologizing to me. He said, Bill, I don't have any more cars for you to do. I said, Bob, trust me, you've got 3 cars to me 1 month. We are more than good at this point. So that's kind of my thing on paint protection film. I saw there more questions popped up, Ken.
Yeah, a couple there.
Yep. So one relevant to what you've been talking about here is what about putting PPF on a car that you've been driving for a while?
Okay, so yeah, case by case basis. That's not an answer, right? That's fancy management stuff to get off the topic. But look, I've seen some vehicles with 10,000 miles, 20,000 miles on it that are a good candidate for paint protection film. If it's the car is driven slowly, it's driven, around town. It really just depends. If there's, here's the secret, guys. I never tell people I can touch up paint chips because once I tell them that, I never see them again. If it's 1 or 2 paint chips, yeah, we can touch it up and we'll do that for you and we'll help you out. Because that can happen on 100 miles too. But if it's, I don't know, I'll take a look at the vehicle if it doesn't make sense. The nice thing that comes around, though, we haven't done it yet, is I do have, Aztec has some fashion films, and they have a gloss black film. So if you have a black Tesla, that may be an option that we can put it on and it'll hide up. So instead of repainting the vehicle, we could potentially talk about doing that. So look, how about this? Look at the vehicle. If you think it looks brand new and you're happy with the way it is, I've had people come in and say, look, I got, 4 or 5 chips on there. I know they're on there. Okay, you're still going to see them when we cover it up. You may see the film is so glossy, you'll pronounce it a little bit more. But if you're okay with the 4 or 5 and people they want the pain to stop and they don't want any more damage, like those are the reasonable expectations a shop should set with you on that. So yes, it can be done. Ideally, you want to do it right away.
Okay. Yeah, and yeah, I think you've got you have pricing on your website, so I know there's a couple of people asking about prices. So I would just suggest that you guys can just jump over to Bill's website if you want.
Yeah, and if I could answer that real quick. If I could, for the pricing, it's not that I want to be evasive with you guys. I'm very transparent on my pricing. It's just for the sense of time. I've come into this, people call up and say, hey, look, this should be $700. I saw the price online. Well, they saw a price from 2008, which was 13 years ago. There's inflation and everything. But look, I'm very transparent on my pricing. If you go either to the ceramic coating or paint protection film pages, if you look at the car price, that's what you're going to pay for paint protection film. That's what you're going to pay for the ceramic coating. We mentioned to me when you call, you come to the shop that you're a member of the club, and we do have we'll give you free headlights, or we'll cover the headlights for free. So pricing's online, is transparent, is right there. If you have any questions, you can email me, get a quote, email, text, call, and I will confirm pricing with anybody on that.
Okay, you want to go to the next slide, Bill?
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, and we'll get to questions as they come up, sort of as during relevant moments. We're not
Okay,
ignoring
cool.
them.
Yeah, just so everybody knows, any question you put in the chat, I promise you we'll get to them. If we think it's going to get covered during Bill's presentation, we may let it go for a little bit. So if we don't answer right away, doesn't mean you're being ignored, guys. Okay, Bill.
Okay, so another reason why everybody's driving faster now. So this is the new Tesla. You can, next point. The new Tesla Plaid, right? 0 to 60 in 2 seconds. You know, I don't know. I don't know why they named it Plaid. I think that might be an Elon joke or something like that.
No,
I think
actually, Plaid is from Spaceballs.
It's a Spaceballs reference.
Oh, okay. I thought it might be like you're gonna have to wear plaid underwear because someone's gonna poop their pants in that car. Like 0 to 60 in 2 seconds. I can't believe that. I can't get my head around that. And
Yeah,
so
you need to watch the movie Spaceballs, Bill.
yeah, I need to brush up on that. The other thing that goes on to why is, you know, people are driving more aggressively now. People are tailgating. I know you can set the limit. You're not going to tailgate because you have the full self-driving feature, but you know, people are going to pull in, they're going to cut you off, they're going to get on the shoulder, they're going to kick up the rocks on you. So it's not that you're a bad driver or you're driving bad. It's what the other idiots are doing, and you can't avoid that. And then with the paint protection film, look, you can go drive a little faster. You can be a little more aggressive. You don't have to worry about, oh my God, I'm going to hurt the car. So it's a great point. Look, the counter argument to paint protection film I hear is I'm just gonna get my car repainted. No, you're not gonna get your car repainted. Stop it. Don't even think about doing that, please. You're gonna spend money to repaint your car and you're gonna diminish the value of the vehicle. We've already talked about that. Like they're gonna see a repainted car, they're gonna think, oh my God, it was in a car wreck. I'm knocking money off of it, not paying for it. We can go forward. Life expectancy, we talked about that, 10 years. I don't know if there's any Porsche guys in here or not, but the Porsche guys, you know, they take those cars on the racetrack. If it's on a track car, 1-2 years, maybe, just depending on how much track use it gets.
Yeah, we have one member that actually races his Model 3. He's a Porsche guy that races his Model 3 down at Summit all the time.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's cool. And then we can point out. So the other good news is here is, look, the film, it's designed to come off the car and be replaced. So you take it off and then the paint looks brand new. That's what we're going after for this. And it shouldn't be every couple of years. If you're taking the film off every couple of years, if the film's coming off in the second or third year, you've either really driven hard or you have an issue with the film. If it needs to come off in 2 to 3 years and it's not normal wear and tear because it's looking bad, you fortunately got a bad product, and hopefully you have a warranty and an installer that's going to stand behind their work and take care of you. Something to buy. So 2 points about this is about when you're shopping. Look for brand name film. So I mentioned 3M. We used to do 3M. They have a nice film. I don't do it. Expel is a brand name that's pretty prominent, popular. We run Premium Shield, great film. And we run Aztec in our shop. So if you look for those, so here's what you want. You want a brand name film, and then you want to double check. You want to go look at that brand name, and you want to go to that manufacturer's website. So if you jump on the Premium Shield website, if you jump on the Aztec website, you're going to find my company's name on there. Now you're going to find some of my competitors too, but that's okay. But what that's telling you is that Bill at Immaculate Paint Protection is known by Aztec, and they're okay selling me their film with my install quality, because those ultimately the high caliber manufacturers, they want to protect their reputation too. So they don't want me out there doing bad installs, because then you guys, it's going to get in your mind that Aztec's a bad film when really maybe the installers is the problem. So that goes hand in hand. That's why I pride myself and we only buy the best material. I'm not the most expensive guy, but I'm not the cheapest either. I'm not going to buy cheap product to cut down on quality or cost. on that.
Bill, are you referring to X-Tech or Expel?
S-Tech, S-T-E-K is the film we have in our shop. It's S-T-E-K. And then Expel is another major brand name. Expel has done a lot of great work marketing wise and getting known out there. So Expel sometimes now is almost like a household name. They've marketed their company that well, like Kleenex is, facial tissue. Expel is paint protection film. So when people hear that, paint protection film, just think of like the defensive lineman. If you're going to go play football, you're going to put the pads on. If you're going to go drive your car, put the paint protection film on. That impact layer is there to absorb it. So that is the end of the paint protection film topic. Do we need any more PPF questions answered?
Yeah, let me go back up a little bit, see what we have here. We have, is paint affected when PPF is removed?
Okay, no. Here's what's going to happen. So if you have OEM original equipment paint, it should come off. The paint protection film should come off no problem. There are known instances out there. If you really poke around, there's been some known instances when the Model Y started. I believe it was the white Model Ys, where the paint protection film come off. They take the PPF off, and the paint was coming off with it. That's not the fault of the paint protection. That was poor preparation before they painted it. Typically, you'll see that on the bumper areas because they'll get some solvents on there. They don't scuff it up. But original equipment, a car that's never been in a wreck, the paint protection film should be taken off without damaging the paint. The only other issue what we've seen is when the car has been in an accident and been resprayed. Okay, so all right, if you have paint protection film on your car and you're in a car wreck, keep this in the back of your mind. The insurance company is going to pay for PPF to have it replaced. I've made it a policy now in my shop. I will work for body shops, but I only work for the body shops that I know are doing quality work. Unfortunately, and you learn this the hard way, so I'll open up my chest here and show a couple scars tonight, but I've had issues. We're doing the install. We have to lift the film, remove the film, where the next day we come back, we want to replace it to make it just right. Take the film off, done it hundreds of times before, and then the paint comes off. And now I'm the last guy that touched the film. They automatically want to blame me and say, hey, it's your film, your install, and when it's really the paint guy. So I don't do respray work in my shop anymore. I'll go to the body shop and do it for people I know. So if you're, God forbid, if you're in a wreck and you have to get your car done, make sure you go into a reputable shop. Make sure when you go to the shop that they know you have paint protection film on your vehicle. They're responsible for taking it off. They're responsible for painting, and make sure that they coordinate having the work done. So they should get you the quote, and then it's one-stop shop. And then at the end of the day, you're picking up a car in the same way it was before the wreck. That's how I advise people to deal with that. People call me up and say, hey, can I get a quote for my insurance? And I said, look, with all due respect, if the body shop or your insurance company is not doing it for you, you're working with the wrong people. Because the body shops I work with, they'll call me up directly and I'll send them a quote for the work that needs to be done and what my cost is. So that was a long answer to paint protection film should come off your vehicle, no problem.
Yep. Another question, how long does it take to install PPF?
Okay, so let's talk Model 3, Model Y. A full front end is my standard package. That's a front bumper, a full fender, full hood, 2 mirrors. That's basically that's 90% of what I'm selling to you guys, to the Tesla folks. Maybe we'll put the rocker panels on there. You drop the vehicle off. Say you drop the vehicle off Sunday night. I meet you at the shop Sunday night, 7 o'clock. That way I can jump into it Monday morning working on it. Sunday night's convenient for you. Your vehicle stays on my shop all night. We're going to wash the car up first thing in the morning. So probably have 2.5 hours prep washing the vehicle. Get it super clean. Don't worry about washing it before you get to us. We'll take care of that. If you're picking the car up from the service center, you can get to our shop right away. Tell the service center not to wash it on delivery, especially for paint correction and ceramic. We'll talk about that later. We computer cut all the film. In the afternoon, we start the film application. Tuesday morning, we're going to come in. We're going to finish up the install. We have to heat treat with the heat gun all the edges, wipe everything down. The film goes on with the soap and a water solution. We didn't really talk about that, but soap and water. So there might be some residual moisture in there. Any bubbles that aren't going to cure out on their own, we'll pop those. We'll let the moisture go. So when you pick up your vehicle paint protection film, if you see a bubble or two, don't be alarmed. That's natural. It is. If you see a bubble or two a couple weeks later, then you're probably gonna have an issue and talk to the installer and they should fix it for you. It's simple. We'll poke it, we'll get the air out for you. It's not the end of the world. So I mean, probably 2 days, 2.5 days. If you're dropping the car off and getting it done the same day, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I know there's some shops that do it that quickly and they turn around and maybe they got a couple guys working there. I don't know. Here's another secret. I did some subcontract work I've been in some different shops before. And you know, the other shop, I started drying off the back in the car, and the guy told me, he's like, look, we don't wash the back. We only wash the front of the car. And I just like, it blew my mind, you know. And he's like, well, that's because they only want the front done, and we don't want to take the risk of scratching. I'm like, well, dude, like, wait a minute. Like, if you're washing the car correctly, you're not going to scratch it. Let's wash the full vehicle. So look, we do more than most shops do in my company. That's the way I want to run my business. I've priced it accordingly. I'm going to give you top-notch service. If the guy can knock it out in a half a day, I don't know. I don't know how it's done that quickly. I really don't, to be honest with you. So that is a great indication on the quality of service, especially for the ceramic coatings, is how long is the job going to take? So I'm glad that question came up tonight. Just think about that in the back of your head. And, you know, and it's not for scheduling reasons. I mean, like, look, I'll even give you, like, look, I've had cars in the shop for 4 days or 5 days just because, you know, if it's more convenient for the client to drop the car off a couple of days, and I'll say, well, you know, I can get to it on a Wednesday. If you want to drop it off early, that's fine. We'll keep it inside for you. But that's typically where we are. A full vehicle, let's plan 4 or 5 days and you want your full vehicle done, you know, every panel on it done. So, and then that number, if it's PPF and ceramic coating for Model 3, Model Y, just plan on a week. So if you're coming to my shop, we can get a rental car for you lined up. You got a great rental car company that's local, family owned. They do nice work, and so that's a reasonable time frame to plan for.
Yep. Actually, on that topic, we have one person asking ballpark price for doing full PPF, the entire car.
Yeah, again,
on a Model 3, Bill.
On a Model 3.
Without throwing a number out there, so somebody hits me 4 or 5 laters, that's going to be 2 to 3 times what the full front end is, guys. And if you think about it, the full front end is, you know, a quarter to a third of the car. So when we say it's 3 times the price to do the full car of a full front end, you're going to be, I've seen numbers $4,000 to $7,000 now to give you a range. You should be somewhere in the sweet spot in the middle there. You know, $5,000 to $6,000 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, today at June 24th, 2021, you know, that's probably where we'd be at, right?
Okay. And then one other question here would be, what if you have ceramic or some other finish on the car first, and then you want PPF?
Yeah. So if you have ceramic on the car first, I'm sorry, we're gonna have to polish that off. There will be an upcharge for that, because that we don't polish the vehicles because it doesn't make sense, and we don't need to for paint protection film. But we will need to polish the ceramic coating off, because the ceramic coating is so hydrophobic, so slick, has a low surface energy, if you want to think about it that way. The adhesive really won't stick, and we'll wind up with bonding issues, and you'll be coming back to the shop a few months later really upset that the film has fallen off the car. So be honest with your installer if you have a ceramic coating on there. That's another great point. If you buy your car and you know you're going to go with the PPF, I had these guys do it to me, and I go bang my head against the wall. They're like, "Oh, I just picked it up. I'm coming to you right away. And they come in like, oh, I put a fresh coat of wax on the car. I'm like, well, okay, well, great. You put wax all over the car in the crevices. Now we got to clean that out. But that wax, it's going to interfere with the adhesive. So then so don't put any sealants, don't put any wax on your vehicle before you get it to your paint protection film specialist. If you got ceramic coating on, we can take care of it. We can polish it off and with the install, but just let us know.
All right, I think we're at a good spot here now, moving on to ceramic.
Okay.
Okay.
So ceramic coating. It's sometimes known as ceramic or quartz. It's SiO2, so it's silica dioxide. That's the material, and it's carried in a solvent, and then the solvent carries it in. So what happens is they call it cross-linking. It chemically bonds into the clear coat. So the clear coat is really porous to a certain degree. It's very porous. So that'll cross-link into the clear coat. It'll fill up microscopically, fill up some of those pores, if you will. And then I saw the graphene question. And then, so that helps. Hold on, try to go over that. Okay, yeah, so that cross-link or that bonding to it, that's where the pro stuff's at, guys. It looks super easy. Hey, I wipe this on and I wipe it off. Wipe it on, wipe it off, Karate Kid style. If you're not paying attention to this and you don't wipe it off, I'm going through and documenting all my procedures in the shop, and we're very specific. Like, we put the coating on, we have this amount of time to get it on the car, we have this amount of time to get it off. We're using 3 different towels. We use 3 different towels, 2 different styles of towels, different knit, and it can be a real mess when it's done wrong. You got to have proper lighting in the shop to do it. I got $1,300 in this portable stand light. I'm going to invest even more. I probably need a couple more of those to get the coatings done. That's just that. I'm not scaring you guys off, but that's the difference between the pro stuff and the kind of DIY quick spray stuff. And even then, you got to watch the pro shops, because the hard thing is that this job is very physical at times and very demanding. So, some of the shops they'll get some maybe unmotivated, unskilled labor in there, and it can get wrong in a hurry. But let's talk about the good stuff. So it provides the benefits of self-cleaning. So that means the rain comes out, it's going to wash the car clean. Eventually, you're going to have to wash the car. So if somebody says, "Hey, you buy my ceramic coating, you're never going to have to wash your car again," keep your money. I mean, just keep your money. Don't fall into that trap. It's just, you're not going to have to wash your car as often. And then when you do wash your car, it's going to be so much easier to do it. It also, it'll make the paint a little bit harder, and it's a glossier. These points are very confusing. So here's what happens. These guys have marketed it, the ceramic coating, and they say, remember back to the Toyota that was all chipped up. I told you that the Toyota paint is like the Tesla paint, that's soft. So they know, okay, we're going to put that softness in your mind. I'm going to scare you. Now you're scared that you got soft paint. I'm going to tell you, well, I got a solution that's going to make your paint harder. And I got this special measurement scale called 9H. And we're going to talk about 9H and how hard that is. And the truth is, those are just made up numbers by some guys with pencils that are marketing dudes, pencils and crayons. And it's a hardness test of pencils. Like, you're not going to go write pencil all over your car. So I don't know why they made up that scale other than to sell people a bogus number. So yeah, it's going to make your paint harder. Is that going to help save you or protect you? No, you're still going to be careful washing your car. The gloss level should 99% of the gloss level should be achieved by the paint correction, by the polish. And the ceramic coating should only enhance that. So that's something to think about too. So the guy running the polisher, running that machine, should know what he's doing. Next 2 points. It's going to provide durability against UV damage. I don't know. We're down in Florida quite a bit. You get down to the southern states, you see the paint damage, the paint coming off. You don't see that up as much up here. but I think protecting the car against UV damage is great. And the nice thing about ceramic coatings is these products are going to last for years. I have I got 3 different coatings in my shop. I got a 3-year, and then I have 2 5-year coatings I can offer to people. And those warranties are if you never see me again. So you don't have to come back every year for special maintenance or a service contract or whatever you want to call that. If you never see me again, I'm gonna stand behind that coating for 3 years. I'm gonna stand behind that coating for 5 years. So that's awesome. The other stuff, your waxes, your sealants, things like that. Those are gonna last days, months, weeks. We can go to the next slide. And so, like anything else in life, it's all about the preparation, guys. So, we're going to wash the car 2 times, and then we're going to wash it a 3rd time. The glossy, like I already talked about, the gloss is from the polish, so that's going to happen. Again, this is why you're buying a ceramic coating. You're buying a ceramic coating to keep your vehicle cleaner longer. You're buying paint protection film to stop the rock chips and the stone chips. Staying cleaner longer, that's just something that's kind of unique to you guys with the Teslas, is those front ultrasonic sensors. Hopefully some of the self-cleaning properties will, wintertime slush will come down. You coat the glass on the 3 and the Ys with the cameras on the side. That makes sense. We can also coat the glass too, which will help. So yeah. And then the summertime bug removal.
Whoop, am I too quick there?
No, that's fine. That's good. Yeah, go ahead. Can you go to that next slide, please?
Whoop, okay.
There we go. You're going to find it's easier to wash your vehicle. So I told you got to be super careful washing your Tesla. This is going to help you be super careful when you wash your Tesla. It's really nice. Next point, you're not going to wax your vehicle anymore. If you're one of those guys that wants to go out and spend 4 or 5 hours every week waxing your car, or once, every couple of weeks, that great. I'm not going to knock you. Wax isn't bad. And there's some really good applications for wax, in my opinion. I mean, I think if I had a vintage 50s or 60s muscle car, street rod, sometimes taking the car show, wax is really good for those applications for that. If it was my everyday driver driving up and down the turnpike, or going to go out in the wintertime salt here in the Northeast, no, I wouldn't put wax on the car and expect it to last. I'll go to the next point. So I'm going to tell you some truths, guys, and put this in the back of your head. Here's maybe some red flags that should be going off with somebody tells you the other way. You're still going to be able to scratch your car. The automatic car wash, I don't care what we put on your car, with maybe the exception of PPF. But even then, I tell you people no. Automatic car wash is going to scratch your car. The snow brush, watch out for the snow brushes. If you get to my website, my YouTube channel, I have a whole video on how to get the snow off your car safely and what you should be buying. Dirty wash mints, dirty towels, service center washes. Those are all things that could damage your paint, could damage your ceramic coating. For every one of my clients, I give them a special tag that they hang on the rearview mirror when they take the car to the service center. It says, "Do not wash unless you're properly trained. You will damage the ceramic coating and be held liable for the repair." That stops the guys from running through the automatic car wash. So that's it. The next point, please. The hard, like I talked about, the hardness is true. It's true. It makes it harder. It might stop. It might minimize some of that wash marring. It probably will. The deeper scratches or swirls is not. And look, if anybody tells you that if anybody tells you ceramic coating is going to stop the rock chips, they're straight out lying to you. They're lying to you and they're scamming you. I can't be any more clear than that. Ceramic coating will not stop the rocks and stones from tearing up your vehicle. Unfortunately, I've heard instances of unscrupulous actors out there selling it that way. So paint protection film stops the rock chips. If you want the car easy to clean, you want ceramic coating. Again, if anyone sells you these features, it's not true.
Whoop.
It's okay. We can jump on.
Okay.
Life expectancy. So we'll open up these points here. The DIY sprays now, those are going to last a few weeks. I mean, you see them advertised on TV. They're at Walmart. They're at, AutoZone. The next point.
If I may interject briefly, David Bellamy, that first product that's listed there, those auto store ceramic sprays, that's what your car wash is putting on the car. When your car wash says, "Oh, we'll put a ceramic spray on your car," that's what they're talking about.
Yes. Yeah. And that's if you're going when you're going to the car wash like that, if you have a ceramic coating on your car, don't go through the touchless, please. And then don't opt for all the waxes and sealants. And it's not that the waxes and sealants are going to hurt or damage your ceramic coating. It's that think of this as layers, and that wax and those sealants that you're having the car wash put on it, that's layer now. So now instead of all the beautiful properties of the self-cleaning, etc., from your ceramic coating, now you have the properties of this cheap sealant that the car wash is sprayed on your car. And that's why people have a ceramic coating on a car and like, oh, it just doesn't work. A lot of times a really good wash, a decontamination wash will take all the sealants, goop, grime, will take that off and get you back down to kind of zero or the baseline of your ceramic coating again. So that is one of the benefits of doing the yearly or bi-yearly, ceramic coating maintenance to your vehicle. I think of it this way. Everybody loves to make the hamburger analogy, but if you bought a $5 Big Mac, you wouldn't go tell the guy that had a $150 Kobe steak that it was the same thing. So you're not going to say, look, DIY sprays that we sprayed on and simply wiped off is the same as a $20 bottle of DIY spray is the same thing as a $2,000 ceramic coating job. It's just not. There's no way. Once you understand all the work behind the $2,000 ceramic coating job, you'll understand why. But unfortunately, ceramic coatings, it's a really sexy term, and people don't understand the technology behind it. So they're, well, okay, ceramic, I want it. Look, if I was at the auto store and it was my personal car and I had to choose between wax or a spray on ceramic sealant, I'd pick the spray on ceramic sealant. So if that's where you're at, I would recommend that too. For people with paint protection film, I do recommend they use spray sealants on their vehicle. And that's simply because a wax will fill in the seams of the paint protection film and collect crud over time, whereas a spray sealant won't. So and it's not to say the DIY stuff is bad. It's just to say it's not the same as the pro level. Life expectancy, 3 to 5 years on a ceramic coating. Like that's what our warranty says for. In my shop, if you come back every 2 years or 12,000 miles for ceramic coating maintenance, I sell you a 3-year or 5-year coating if you want without seeing me again. I'm going to tell you if you come back every 2 years or 12,000 miles with a Geon coating right now, I'm going to extend your warranty from 3 years to 10 years. And the 5-year warranty, if you come back every 2 years or 12,000 miles, whichever's first, we're going to go from 5 years to lifetime. So here's what I tell people. So when when somebody tells me I'm shopping around, they say, that's cool. The dude that tells you, I got a 9-year, I got a 10-year, I got a lifetime ceramic warranty. Because I mean, yeah, you tell me something's going to last forever, I'm going to pay good money on that all day long. What they don't tell you is that you got to come back every year for the coating maintenance. So did he just sell you a warranty, or did he just sell you a service contract? In my mind, he sold you a service contract that you got to come back to him. So that's the thing to think about. Something on that. Yeah, that's the thing. Always ask that guy, what do I have to do to get that warranty? So I just like to be real upfront and transparent with everybody at my shop. All right, let's talk about the process, some of the stuff that's fun here. Any questions, or we need to stop at that point?
One question, I guess we can kind of get to this when we get done with the ceramic coating section, but we have one person asking questions about basically their paint on their car looking kind of bumpy, and what's the deal with that?
Orange peel.
Yeah, orange peel. I put in there, it's orange peel, but if you can explain what the deal is with that.
Yeah, that's great. So orange peel, so the bumpy, if they call it orange peel, because if you think about an orange, it it has some undulations to it. So some vehicles have more, some manufacturers have more orange peel than others. Tesla, quite frankly, has a little more orange peel than some. I mean, some of the really high-end cars I've seen come through the shop, the BMWs have awesome, just like really level paint to them. The Mercedes has really nice paint on that level. Some of the best looking paint coming through the shop is from the Japanese manufacturers I've seen. Like a Lexus or something like that. So I wouldn't. Everything is. Oh, sorry, that was a PPF rep. Everything. I wouldn't get too caught up in orange peel. If you really want to dive down a rabbit hole, people can wet sand the orange peel off or orange peel out. I would highly recommend against that. What you're doing is you're removing. You got to keep removing the orange peel. All these little bumps and ridges in there, and you have to sand down to get it level. So you're removing all that clear coat off there, and that's just going to set you up to respray that car, a few years down the road, because the clear coat has UV inhibitors in them to protect the base color paint, and those typically fall down to the bottom. So you get down close to that, that's going to start wearing off. The wet sanding, all that. I mean, the guys will spend hundreds of hours wet sanding, buffing out these multi-million-dollar custom hot rods and show cars. But those cars are literally hundreds, if not $1 million cars. So, those guys can spend $200,000 on a paint job and pay somebody hours to just sand. But what they'll do is they'll put 6 or 7 or 8 layers of clear coat on that car, and they'll build so much clear coat on it they know they can sand that down. It just that's really not practical for a production vehicle. So is there anything wrong with the bumps on there? I'd say no. If you can really feel it, if you can feel it and it feels rough to the hand, that's probably some bonded on contaminants, tree sap or road tar. I mean, we can take that off with a clay bar.
Yep. We also have a question. What do you do during coating maintenance? I don't know if you're going to get to that. If that should wait.
No, that's fine. We can answer right now. So coating maintenance. So we do a decontamination wash. So we put an iron removing product on there. So iron gets onto the paint and they'll get onto the coating from industrial fallout, from the brake rotors. Well, that's really not a big issue since you have the regenerative braking. But other people have, they're using their brakes on the road, brake dust is falling down, it gets kicked up. When it's wet out, road film comes up. So we'll do that. That'll take the iron off the car. Some of the pictures I'll show here will show a Tesla that looks at all this purple bleeding off the car. That's all embedded iron. Yeah, go to the next slide, please. All this purple here, that's a brand new Tesla. That's embedded iron in the paint. If you're new a rail yard, you'll get rail dust that falls on the vehicle. We'll clay bar it if it needs to. That'll take sometimes tree sap hits the car, sometimes paint overspray. We'll inspect the vehicle, make sure the coating's still performing, and then what we'll do is we'll top it up with our 1 year coating on there. So what we're doing is we top your coating up, so then that 1 layer coating has all the great characteristics and properties that the base coating does that you paid for, but now we have a 1 year coating on here, so that's what's going to get reduced and take all the grime and the impact and get degraded next. So we want to keep all the properties of that initial coating, and we use a 1 year top. Okay, so the work. Okay, any more questions, or we're good there?
I think we're good for now.
Okay. So the work that's required, I'm going to do a thorough wash, foam it up. We'll do the clay bar. Then you can jump to the polish section. So then this guy down here, the happy face, that's the machine polisher. His face, he's got a big mouth there. He's drooping. That's polish. So it's that polish right there. That's what we call polish, buffing, paint correction. It's kind of all the same lingo, guys. You know, we're gonna fix, you know, maybe there's some sanding marks from the factory. We'll fix. Dust nibs, sometimes if we can take a dust nib out, which is a piece of dust that got in there. Sometimes I don't take them out because if it's in the base coat, then it's bad. I mean, any serious run or flaws like that, we're not going to fix that in the shop. But I mean, honestly, the last few Teslas that have come to the shop have looked pretty good. And you know, look, let's be realistic. Let's not talk about like we know what can be done to a multi-million-dollar show car, but let's calibrate our expectations and let's talk about what we have here. And you know, when the car gets done, it's gonna look damn good. It really is. So let's be happy with the car that's really good. It's gonna be easy to maintain. It's gonna look really nice. 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, 24 months. At year 3 down the road, it's gonna be easy to wash. That's what we're going after for. So, I mean, I understand there's a lot of concern about these cars. There's a lot of money for you, but trust me, we're gonna get it done right for you. So just let me help you out. Don't drive yourself crazy on any of this, please. And I'm speaking from experience. I've been there. I've done that. That's the hardest thing when we get these cars in. We got all the lights in, and we start seeing the stuff, and you know, we try to fix as much as we can. Having the dealership, having the service center not wash your car before you deliver it is key. If you guys know the managers, if you could tell them that when the customer doesn't request it, if they don't wash the car, we can polish it. If they wash the car, they will scratch it, and that requires compound. Then we put compound on. That's one step we process through with the polisher and a different pad. Then we have to wash the car again. Then we have to come back with the polish to bring all the gloss up. So what we're doing with the compound is we're taking the scratches out. Then we got to take the polish to take the superficial scratches that are in there from the compound, and that we shouldn't have to compound a brand new car, guys, because they're washing it wrong, but we do. So I'm going to talk about that point if we go to. So when you're, I'll talk about this in our shop. Let me just jump into it right now. It makes sense. When you're paying for paint correction or you're paying for ceramic coating, ask them how much paint correction work you're going to do. So typically what I like to do with my clients is I like to bring them in. I bring the light out, we'll wipe the panel down, and we'll look at it. First thing I like to do is I like to ask you as a client, what do you see wrong with this? And then I can show you, then we'll just do the polish, which is the first step, which is all included in the base price. Then we'll pull the light out. I'm going to ask you what you think about that. If you're happy with that, I may still see some stuff, but if you're really happy with that, we're going to probably stop there because there's no sense in me taking more of your money and taking more paint off your car. You're going to have a scratch or two in the car someplace at some time over the vehicle. You really are. That's not me trying to do lower work. But if you see that scratch, I've had guys say, no, I see that. I'm like, well, okay, yeah, I do too. Well, let's talk about it, you know, and then I'll do a small section. We'll take the scratch out. We'll do the polish. You'll see how much work is going into it. And I can give you a real adequate price assessment right then and there. You know, because that to me, it's a consumer, it would leave an unsettling feeling leaving my car. And the guy goes, well, I don't know how many hours it's going to take. I'll tell you when it's done, and have an open-ended, you know, estimate or open-ended invoice coming in. So we can show you exactly what it is and make sure we do the right amount of work for your car and for your needs. So the work's required. So we're going to wash it again after we polish it. And then we're going to wipe it down with a special degreasing agent. So I like at this point, before we do the coating, I want this car surgically clean is the best way I can describe it. Next, here. So we're removing any of the oils. If people touch anything like that, after it's wiped down, we have gloves on anytime we're around the car at that point. I don't want any oils, any contaminants on the vehicle. I don't want any contaminants that are going to interfere with the coating. I mean, think about it. I mean, everybody's painted a wall before, right? The first thing you do is tell you to clean the wall before you paint it. You know, if you have oil on something and you try to paint it, it's not going to stick. I'm not painting your vehicle. I'm just using it as an analogy. If there's any oil or contaminants, I don't want anything interfering with the bonding. We're going to apply the coating. We're going to apply a minimum of 1 coat. That's our 3-year package. We're then going to apply, for up-level systems, we apply 2 coats. And so let's talk about the number of coats, the number of ceramic coatings you put on your vehicle. This all varies from manufacturer to manufacturer. Some of the older technologies that they sell, they offer, oh, we'll stack up, we'll do 1 layer, 2 layer, 3 layer, 4 layer. It's all the same product. They just stack the layers up. The newer technologies, especially here, the ones that we like with Geon, it's 2 coats, but they're separate coats. So the first one's base, and then the next one's phobic or Duraflex or Flexi, just those specific names. And they have to be installed in that order. We have to put the base coat in first. Then we have a specific window of time that we can install the top coat on. And it has to go in that order, very specific. So, again, I can understand where selling to the consumer, oh, I'm putting 4 coats of this on. You're thinking, wow, that's really cool. I'm getting 4 coats. I don't understand that. I don't, because at some point the coating becomes so tight, the pores are filled up so much, if you will, the cross-link has happened. You reach a point of diminishing returns where more coats is not going to do anything. I mean, if 4 coats is good, why not 40, guys? I mean, I don't know. So just by having more coats on there doesn't necessarily mean it's better. It's a good way to justify a higher cost to somebody, is what I would say on that. Keep the vehicle dry, and we keep it dry for a minimum of 24 hours before we release it from the shop. So even if you want to let it sit at our shop for another day or 2 because it's raining, it's perfect. The next point, the coating it's dry when it leaves the shop, but it's still curing. So if you have your vehicle ceramic coated, try to keep it dry. Don't wash it with any detergents for 14 to 21 days. Keep it in the garage, keep it dry. Keep it dry. That's why I said that. Get it in the sun if you can. So that's what you can do to help the longevity of your coating there. All right. Tips for shopping for ceramic coating. We probably covered some of these, but here's what we got. If you jump to my website, I have a list of 18 questions you should ask when you're doing ceramic coating. I'm not going to bother you with all 18 tonight. I'm going to tell you that point number 4. What's that? Point number 14 is price. So price is important, but it's not the only thing.
You want that back? I'm sorry.
Yeah, please. I'm sorry. I can.
It was a short screen. I didn't think it was.
Yeah, it was a short screen. Sorry. I had too many pictures. I should have put a picture in here. The brand name is difficult, guys, because there are so many coatings. There's so many brand names of coatings out there. Here's another little insider tip. A lot of these coating companies, they will remanufacture or rebrand or rebox a coating label. If I wanted to, I could go out and I could go get Bill's Super Duper ceramic coating and put my name and picture on it. I don't want to do that, but you could. So just to say on brand name, that one's tough. And I don't know, it's scary. I mean, I had somebody offer me an $8 bottle of ceramic coating. Our coatings cost hundreds of dollars. And somebody told me, hey, this is, I mean, yeah, it's an $8 bottle. It's almost packaged the same, but it's from China. I don't know what's in that bottle. I'm not putting that on my car. I'm not putting it on your car because I don't want the liability from putting something in the car and the paint comes off. Here's the main point to any of this. Find an installer that you can trust. Find a shop that you can trust. Ask your friends. I mean, ask the questions when I'm not here. They don't hurt my feelings. But John, Ken, these other guys that have had this stuff done, look, if somebody's had the work done and they say, man, this guy is really good, you need to go to him, trust that opinion. Honestly, if somebody went someplace and the work was so-so or not great or didn't exceed, was poor, in my opinion, most people don't say anything. They're like, yeah, I had it done. Or they won't tell them because they're kind of embarrassed. I spent $2,000 and it didn't work. And I mean, yeah, if I spent $2,000 on my ceramic coating and it didn't last, or I wouldn't tell people that either. So when you ask for a recommendation, somebody says, yeah, you really got to go see this guy. You got to go see that shop. Trust me, they know what they're doing. That's what you need to listen for, guys. And I see Ken shaking his head there.
Yeah, I would also add to that. for club members, if you realize that in our vendor section where we have vendors listed, we also let folks put comments on their experience with those vendors.
Oh, great.
Right. So, if you have a good experience or you have a bad experience, we strongly encourage club members to post that up there so other people can learn from that.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, I tell everybody, look, I got a real simple mantra in my shop. We do 4 things in immaculate paint protection. We do quality, 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 and customer service. In immaculate paint protection, we do quality, 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 and customer service. So if I can't win you over on quality, I'm going to get you on customer service. And I asked people, I said, look, we're going to do such a job that you're going to want to do, you want to give us a 5-star review. If that doesn't happen, then please give me a call and tell me why, and we're going to fix the problem. I mean, there's things happen from time to time, but I get it. Let's just slow down. Let's have a conversation. We're talking, we're talking thousands of dollars here. Let's just put it out there. We're talking thousands of dollars for these services. Somebody should spend some time with you. You should feel comfortable that you're going to get what you pay for. And do your due diligence. Ask around. And then when you do find somebody, the best thing you can do so that guy's around is help him out and tell your friends, tell your former Tesla buddies, look, you really need to go to this guy and help him out. So we can go to the next slide. So this is kind of going back to the next point. This is going back to, I told you the brand names. There's a few brand names out there. Like this is the Gian website, guys. I went there. They have a locator. I'm on that locator. What that means is Gian trusts me. They trust my shop to use their product, to use their brand name to do the installs. So does the fact I'm certified by 3 PPF companies and 2 ceramic coatings mean I'm good? I don't know. You can be the judge of that. It's a step in the right direction. Certifications are a step in the right direction. I think certifications are kind of like driver's license, right? I mean, driver's license don't guarantee that everybody on the road's a great driver, but there's, especially in the ceramic coating, you really got to be careful. You really got to be careful with this. There's just a lot of fly-by-night operations. There's people that aren't necessarily ethical or professional. And when the work's done poorly, hopefully they don't damage the vehicle, but you're out your money on that. So we can jump to, I think I covered that. Just bump to the next slide. So do they understand Teslas? Talk to them. Do they know the lingo? What do they know about Tesla? So here's the thing, guys. Watch yourself, protect yourself. Look, you guys are smart people, but unfortunately, as an outsider, here's what people see as Tesla owners. They see you guys as rich people with a lot of money, and they're going to maybe try to exploit that. So I get it. Just educate yourself. Just by being here tonight, you're doing the right thing by getting some education on that. Again, were they going to listen to you or are they going to take your money? Before the conversation started tonight, we were jumping in. I have a 3-year and a 5-year coating. One of my clients came to me 1 month with a Ferrari, a Porsche, and a Jaguar. Obviously, you could probably guess that the 5-year coating is more money than the 3-year coating. Now, the guy had a Ferrari, a Porsche, and a Jaguar. I sold him the 3-year coating for his Porsche because we talked about how he drives the Porsche, when he's going to drive it, and the 3-year coating made sense for him. The differential in price was not an issue to the gentleman, but to me, the ethics behind me and my business was that let's get the guy what he needs. So that's just something to get a feel for. The next, so this is a great case point here. Jim and Joan with the white Tesla. They bought PPF in the 3-year coating. Nate came to me with the black. He bought PPF in the 5-year coating, and that's almost the same car, same area, just different clients. They had different needs. And Jim and Joan, their Tesla looked really awesome leaving the shop for the 3-year coating on it. Nate, his car looked just as good with the 5-year coating on it. And both of them made the right decision in that. So, you know, more expensive is not necessarily always better. Or, you know, just somebody should be truthful with you, I guess is my point. Let me talk some more stuff here. What I do at my shop here, I'm going to educate you from the beginning to the end. You're not even a client tonight. I'm trying to help you out. One of the things I like to do is I always do a complimentary wash with all my clients. So for me, the next point is it gives me a chance to quadruple, 5th or 6th time, double check the vehicle when it comes back after a few weeks. We can check all the edges on the PPF. We can check the coating. But it also, for me, it's helping you out, and I'm training you. So I'll wash the rim, and then you do the rim. Then you do the rim, then we'll wash I'll wash the top body panel, and you can do the rest of the vehicle. You can try all the products out in my shop. You can buy them from me. You can see if you like them, or you can buy them on Amazon. I really don't. I'm not trying to bring people back to sell them, car soap or anything like that. But I have a good time. It's another interaction I get to have with my clients, building up that client base. My clients have a good time with it. We did there's a video on my website. If you go to immaculatepaintprotection.com, our ceramic coating page, we have a how to wash your ceramic coating vehicle. Now, all those tips and tricks, they apply to any vehicle, whether you have a ceramic coating or not. They apply to any ceramic coated vehicle. Those are best practices. If you get a ceramic coating and it's not done in immaculate paint protection, that's okay. Go watch our video, use those tips and techniques. So I did that with my client, Dr. Gupta. He came back in. He had such a great day. He's calling me up after the fact. He's like, Bill, you should charge money for that. People will pay you $150, he thinks, to come in for a one-on-one session to learn how to wash your vehicle. And maybe he's right. We haven't got the time yet. We haven't got to that point where we've marketed that service. But that's a $150 value I'm including for every one of my clients. I think it's money well spent and time well spent with our clients. Okay, so price is always a question. I don't think it's the main thing. Look, if it's way too cheap or way too expensive, those are flags. Every shop, they price their coatings differently. And I don't know, there's no industry standard on what the price should be. And then there's no industry standard on what is included in different packages. So pick out, what are they actually coating? All right. First, check all the prep work are they doing. Are they including any paint correction in that price? I've seen some people, they'll give you a really good deal. They're like, hey, I'm going to do, ceramic coating, and here's the number. It's typically under $1,000. And you think, I'm going to go there. And then, oh, by the way, you need paint correction. Well, what's that? Well, you want me to polish the car before I put the coating on, don't you? Well, yeah, that makes sense. So, yeah, maybe I could get more people in the door at a lower price and run it up on them. But it just seems like a bad way. I don't like being sold like that. I don't. I'm not selling that way. But, so check that out. Make sure what are they coating like? So in my 3-year package, we do paint correction and we coat all the painted surfaces. That's a great package for that sweet spot. In our 5-year coating, we do paint correction, we coat all the painted surfaces, and as of today, we include the rims and the plastic trim and the glass. I don't know if we're going to keep including glass or not, but plastic trim and the rims. So these a la carte little things can sometimes all add up. So make sure you get a total price when you're going from shop to shop. Paint correction, is it single or multiple step? Multi-step, that's typically the compound to polish. The more work, paint correction, the more time you're going to spend. So here's something to think about. You don't have to get you don't have to get a ceramic coating done right away. You can have ceramic coating done 2, 3, 4 years down the road. If your vehicle's 3 years old, he's got some rock chips, that's okay. You're probably still going to have them on there, but you're like, I really want it to look brand new again. A ceramic coating would be a good option. You're probably going to pay a little bit more because there's going to be more paint correction and compound polish work having to be done, but that can be evaluated. That's why I always tell people, put your money in paint protection film first, and if you can't afford to do paint protection film with ceramic coating, come back a year or two later and do the ceramic coating. If you come back a year or two later trying to do paint protection film, it's going to be too late. Paint correction film, make sure you really understand what the work they're doing and what the fees are and what the charges are going to be. Better yet, like I told, ask for a test section. Say, show me the work. Show me the work. What's it look like? And if they're scared or they won't do it, well, I mean, I don't know. To me, doing the test section, it's kind of like the old adage of these chefs, these world famous chefs. The one thing I heard the one time is it said like a really good chef has no secrets, right? So to me, the paint correction is not a secret. I'll bring you in my shop. I'll show you the work. Jump on my website, Immaculate Paint Protection. Jump on my YouTube channel. I got a ton of videos. I'm very transparent about everything that's going on. I show you the whole process from start to finish. So that's what we do with that. So we're going to move off of ceramic coatings. Are there any more ceramic coating questions that I can answer?
I think we got it all.
Okay, cool. Okay, car wash practices. That's probably what a lot of people are here for. So I will answer any and all questions again. So let's be nice to the paint, right? How do we be nice to our paint? Let's buy some high quality wash mitts, some nice microfiber wash mitts. Don't use brushes in the car. Let's buy some high quality microfiber towels. Spend 40, 50, 60, $80 on microfibers. Take care of them, wash them separately, wash them on low, wash them on cold. Do this. If you buy microfibers, only use your car with them. Don't buy microfibers and then go dust the floor with them or something like that. It's not a, I'm trying to say this humbly. I probably have well over $1,000 in towels in my shop. I have 6 or 7 or 8 different colored towels now. So when I'm washing a vehicle, I have black towels. The black towels are dedicated only for the rims and the door jams, right? Because that's where it's definitely be super dirty. I don't want to pick up any dirt off of the rim and grind that onto the paint of your vehicle. I have a dedicated set of wash towels like that on the Porsche. That's just for drying the vehicles. I have dedicated wash mitts. I have 2 styles of wash mitts. I have one wash mitt that we use on the body and another one that we used on the rocker panels or underneath the vehicle. Those are just little tips and tricks that we do in our shop that you can do too. You'll see that in our wash video on how to wash a ceramic coated car. Then there's a whole other host of towels that are dedicated for, I have a red interior towel. I have a lavender color towel for cleaning the leather. I have light blue color towels for doing the glass. So it got really complicated in my shop. It doesn't have to get that complicated for you, but just be careful with your microfiber towel. So like I said, don't clean the barbecue grill and then go wash your car with that same microfiber towel. All of this should be fun. And if you could back up to the other slide, please.
Oh, sure. Sorry.
That's okay. All of this at the end of the day should be fun. You spent a couple, you spent hundreds, you spent between $1,000, $2,000 or maybe more for your ceramic coating. That should make it fun. Going out and washing your car should be fun. It should be easier now to do, and the results are going to be so much better. This picture here to the left, the black that you see, it's the kind of the concentric circles. They start small, they get bigger. That's hologramming. That's either hologramming. That's most likely, we call them love marks in the industry. And that is kind of the euphemism for somebody effed up when they washed the vehicle. So that came from one of the service center, 300 miles. Improper wash methods. That's what your car is going to look like. So when you go out on that really nice, bright, sunny day and you see a black car, it just doesn't look right. That's what's happened. So when you're washing a vehicle, the less force you can put on the vehicle, the better. So you see this picture here. This is from one of my work instructions that we use in the shop, how to wash the vehicle. That's me. I'm just dragging the towel across the Porsche there to dry it off. So it's just simply the weight of the towel coming across. I'm not leaning down. I'm not grinding. I'm not pushing onto it. Next slide, please. Car washing practices, the lubricity of the soap. So let's use a high quality soap, guys. I know, God bless him, he was gone. My dad, I don't know, every year he drove my mom crazy. I think when he passed away, there was like 7 or 8 gallons car wash soap from Costco. Because you could go buy the big bottle of McGuire's car wash soap for $7.99 or something like that. And it's supposed to be super great because it's an all-in-one wash and wax soap. That wax part of the wash and wax, I don't like that. It's not that it's bad for the paint. It doesn't leave the car really clean because you're trying to do two things at the same time and it just never works. If you have a ceramic coating on your car, ask your installer what soap they recommend. So for all the Geon coatings, I have some really nice ceramic soap from Geon. The nice thing about the ceramic coating soaps is they're really, I guess the best word is neat. They don't have any of the extra fluff or fillers or waxes or sealants in them. So it just gets the car super clean. It gets to the base, it keeps the coating. So you have all the properties of the coating working there. The other thing too is like you'll look like the small bottle I sell is $20. You're like, well, Bill, that's $20. I can buy a gallon of car wash soap at Costco for $15.99. Well, the Costco soap has a bunch of water in it, right? My soap is super diluted. We're going to use 15 to 20 milliliters, so about an ounce and a half of soap per car wash when you buy the soap from me. I'm not selling soap here tonight, but it's an example. So on a per cost basis, per wash basis, I think my soap is either the same price or cheaper than the other stuff. So don't let that initial price per unit scare you. Some people, they like to use a detailing spray when they dry. That's okay. I'm cool with that. The next point is, here's something to think about when you're washing your car. So scrub. If you ever feel like you got to scrub to get something off your car, resist that urge, stop. You're going to scratch, you're going to scratch the paint and you're not going to take off whatever's bonded on. That's me using Geon tar on our vehicle there. That's right from the rear wheel. Well, the wheels are going to kick up the road tar, especially now here we're in the summertime and you're doing all the road work and you start seeing more road tar coming up on the vehicles. The next point is just look, if you got a scrub, you're going to need a different cleaning agent. Okay. The soap is not going to get everything off the vehicle all the time. You should get 95% of the stuff. Occasionally you're going to have some tar in the vehicle and that's okay. Take it off. Let's talk about this point here, guys. This is, I know we're going to laugh at this one, but you can bring that point up.
Actually, just before you get into that,
Okay.
Doug is asking if it makes sense to get a filter for the garden hose to lessen water spots.
Yeah, okay, I understand that. That filter is typically just kind of almost like a particulate filter. So that won't really lessen the water spots, if that makes sense. The water spots
A hard water issue, right, Bill? Is that what that is?
yeah, it's typically a hard water issue. So people think soft water is better, but that's not really the case either. I have a deionizing bed that the water runs through in our shop. So for a spot for your rinse, even then I'm really careful about getting the car dry as quick as possible. So here's what I recommend for that, Doug. If you have water spot issues, so wash the car, find out, I don't know your location. Let's say you're washing the vehicle at home. Just, tomorrow when you get up, take note of when you have the shade. Pull the car out in front of the driveway or just look in front of the driveway. Figure out what point of the time of the day are you going to have shade. So I tell people they have to come to the shop in the morning by, before 10 o'clock if we're going to wash the car. Why? Because I have shade in the full back end of the shop at that point. That's when we try to wash the cars outside. If I have anybody over to wash the car for safety reasons, we wash outside so we don't have any slips, trips, or falls. But if, the shade's in your plan in the afternoon, take the car and wash in the afternoon. When you're fighting the sunlight, the sun's going to help dry it off. Overcast day, when it's high humidity, that's fine too. You'll have less water spots. But I don't think a water filter in a garden hose is really going to help you out. I mean, you could try it, but I don't think you're going to experience it. So keep rinsing the car off. And then maybe in your case, I don't do it because I don't like using detail sprays in our wash process because we're washing cars prior to paint protection film installation. And that's detail spray has some type of sealant in it sometimes, and that'll interfere with the bond. But in your case, I would recommend using a sealant, a detail spray or sealant. It's a drying aid when you're drying it down. So that's going to break up some of the water spots on there too and get the car just really nice and clean. I recommend, we have the the Geon detail spray, which is a high quality product. CarPro makes a nice detail spray called Eco 2. Little play on words there. You can buy that and actually in a concentrated form and do that. If you jump online, I know that CarPro product, there's a lot of videos out there from the West Coast with the waterless, rinseless washes for that. So hopefully that helps you out.
Yeah, I'm going to throw, I'll throw one more at you, Bill.
Yep.
What would you recommend for removing bugs from the front of the car without having to scrub?
Yeah, that's a great question. So first, I mean, let's do that. Let's try to get the bugs off as soon as possible if we can. So if we have to run to the car wash maybe once a week and use the pressure washer there, put a couple bucks in, blast them off when they're fresh. The color of the bugs, the colored bugs are nastier. You got to be careful on those. Those have, I believe it's a little more acid. So that purple, that red, that's not good, guys. That's going to start etching into the paint. I would recommend, I'm not here to sell Geon tonight. I recommend the Geon products because I know the Geon products work in my shop. And they work with everything. And I don't have time to chase down there's 50 different bug removers out there. And I don't know what all 50 of them, but I know the Geon bug and the bug and grime remover is the product, works really good. Stonex has a nice bug remover. So, jump on Amazon, jump on any detail supply shop, and you can find those there. That's what I'd say. Let them, and just follow the directions. You straight on, you let dwell a few minutes and it's good. They're enzyme based is what they are. They'll go in there and the enzymes will break up the organic matter of the bug and hopefully they'll wrench right off for you. If you have a ceramic coating though, that's going to make it even easier to wash. So if you're having a problem with the bugs right now, you don't have a ceramic coating, get the bugs off. And here's the reason I want to get the bugs off. I had a Subaru in here this week, 7,000 miles on it, and I had to polish the front end because there was bug damage on it, and it etched the paint, which was unfortunate on that. So, I mean, the guy, you couldn't tell, but I could. So be careful with that. Thanks for the question.
Okay. Thanks, Bill.
Okay, back to me. Yeah. So Scotch Bart, I'm talking about the scrubbing mitt that's in your sink. It's usually yellow on one side, a yellow sponge, and then the green pad on the other side. I know we're gonna laugh, but once a year I'll get somebody call me up saying, "Hey man, I took a sponge and my car's all scratched up now," and that's not good. Just whatever you do, don't use the Scotch Brite. Don't actually let's make a rule tonight. Let's not use anything from the sink on our cars, guys. Anything that's been in the sink or under the sink or near the sink, let's not take it out and use it on the car, please. We'll scratch it. That's a very bad idea. Here's what it is. Get yourself a bug and tar remover. Stoner's tar remover is a great product I'd recommend. I think you can pick that up at a Walmart or the AutoZone stores if you want. Geon tar is really nice. I would recommend maybe getting some of the Stoner, the Geon tar now. It's I'm glad I had it, because here's what's going to happen. We're going to get into, in a couple months, we're going to get into school season or preschool season. And what happens before school starts? They go out and they start the traffic painting, right? That's the time of year I start getting phone calls of, "Oh my God, I got traffic paint all over my car." So if you have some of that, you run over the traffic paint, take that, spray that on, let that set up almost immediately, go to the car wash, rinse it off or at home. If you run into an incident of getting traffic paint in your car, get that off as soon as you possibly can. If you let that sit on there for hard enough, we're going to have a mess and it's going to be very expensive. Again, another reason why you want to have a ceramic coating on your vehicle is if you do run those situations, it's so much easier to come off with that. Fun fact is ceramic coatings originally started not for ceramic coatings for the cars, but they started as a solution for anti-graffiti. So they said, "Hey, what is something we can put on paint so when people come spray painted, we can, you know, clean it off quickly. So that's why ceramic coatings were invented. I had another point. Oh, back to the Giantar and the traffic paint. I helped a guy out one time last summer. He had a truck and it had these white spots all down the side of it, and it looked like water spots, but it wasn't. It actually there was traffic. They just did white paint, the white traffic lines or the white crosswalk. It was raining. He drove across it. All that paint was wet. It came up, it flushed on the car, and it water spotted. So he took it to the dealership or took it to the body shop. They came out. They told him it was going to be $800 to $900 to fix it because all they knew how to do was to buff it off. So I sold him a $20 bottle of Giant Tar and showed him that if you sprayed it on and let it set for a couple of minutes, that you could just wipe it right off. So he was pretty pumped up. Now he didn't have the ceramic coating; it was very light, but that's again why I think the ceramic coatings are pretty awesome to have in the car. All right, car wash practices. So let's talk about 2-bucket method, right? So here's the cool thing. You don't have to be an engineer to wash your car, guys. So 2-bucket method is just that. It's 2 buckets. You can see in the picture there, I have a red bucket and a green bucket. Red is the international symbol for stop. Green is the international symbol for go. I put just straight tap water in the red bucket. That's all we do. And then I put my high quality wash soap in the green bucket. So we're going to start off in a red bucket with our wash mitts. We're going to dip them in 3 or 4 times. We're going to wring them out, and then we're going to put in the soapy bucket. We're going to get some soap, and we're going to do maybe a quarter of a panel at a time. So we're going to do a quarter of the roof. Then we're going to rinse out into the red bucket. So we go in the red bucket, we're rinsing out our wash mitt. So if there's any dirt or grime on that top layer, we're not going to contaminate that across the vehicle. That dirt and the grime that's in your wash mitt, that's what's swirling your car up, folks. So rinse the car off first, then start the wash down. But we're going to try to keep that minimized. And if there is some dirt and grime in that area, hopefully we'll just localize the damage to one area. We can move to the next one and talk about that. We'll talk the next slide, please.
Okay.
That's good. Okay, so his picture here. They talked about the buckets, the yellow and the black. Those are called grit guards. Those are going to sit in the bottom of the bucket. And what that's going to do, all the particles that are in the water are going to suspend down. And so we're not having that grit guard or the grime or sand. That's going to get out of the wash mitt. And so we're going to keep cleaning. We're going to take the wash mitt and the wash soap. We're not going to have any abrasive media in the wash mitt that can damage the vehicle when we're washing the car. That's the whole purpose of that. These grit guards, they're roughly $10 apart. Just Amazon, Google search grit guard, GRIT grit guard, and buy some. You're going to buy them. Get 2 of them. You want 2 buckets. You're going to take one of them, go to Lowe's or Home Depot, take them with you, and go buy 2 5-gallon buckets. You want to take them to the store with you. Believe it or not, a 5-gallon bucket is not a 5-gallon bucket. They're different. They hold 5 gallons, but some are taller. The taller buckets won't fit the grit guards, and you're going to find. I forgot exactly what brand name. I think it was Lowe's last time, but that was a couple years ago. So I always take one fresh. Just something else to talk about. You've maybe come across this in your travels of the internet and the waterless options. I know that's a big thing. There's a lot of videos out there for Tesla and waterless wash. I believe a lot of that starts out because Teslas are in California. They predominantly start in California. That's where the big wave of Teslas come in. California has a lot of water restrictions out there. I know some of my friends that own well-established shops out in California. Like the guy was telling me that they're not even allowed to have a pressure washer at their shop. And I don't know how you clean cars without a pressure washer, but so that's why you see a lot of hype and talk about waterless wash, and the fact that you can go wash your car outside in your your driveway here, I always recommend 2 bucket method wash for where we're at, what we can do, especially given the fact that we have seasons. We have a winter season and we have a road construction season, and we have a winter season and we have a road construction season. You want to keep that stuff off the car. So always rinse the car off first. Do that really good. The foam cannons are cool. Waterless washes, or if you really get advanced and you want to get in that top echelon, top tier of auto detailers, a hardcore hobbyist, here's what I would tell people to do. Wintertime, take your car to the touchless car wash. Touchless car wash is, they get the car about 70% clean. They get all the nastiness stuff off there. There's still just some kind of film on there. It doesn't look great. You bring the car home, you get clean, you got all the road salt, all the nastiness off of it. You do a waterless wash and you pull the car in the garage. You buy 1 or 2 gallons of distilled water. You pour that in a bucket. You pour 1 or 2 ounces of whatever the manufacturer says is a waterless wash. You dump 8 microfiber towels in that bucket, and then you wash the car down. And it's 30 degrees outside, and you just wash your car in the garage, and you pull the car out the next day. Your neighbors don't know what's going on because they don't know how your car looks so clean all the time. I was doing that when I lived in an apartment before. I was doing a waterless wash because I'm a little insane, but I was doing that about every other day, and I was working in a steel mill, and the guys didn't know what happened. They didn't know how it kept the car so clean all the time. But so that's a great waterless wash is a good location too if you're an apartment dweller and you can't get to a hose in a bucket. But that's something I would recommend right there.
Yeah, just to comment on the touchless car washes. There was a lot of stuff on some of the Tesla forums about, especially with the Model Y, going through the touchless car wash. Apparently, the chemicals that they're using in there are pretty harsh, and it was discoloring the black trim around the windows, where it was like the trim was actually, the paint was fading out to white splotches from that.
Yeah. The follow-up on that is that it's not permanent. If you buff it long enough, hard enough, the discoloration will buff out because it's just chemicals depositing on the stuff or on the trim. But yeah, the touchless car washes will do that on the black trim on Model Ys and on new Model 3s and S's and X's for that matter.
Okay, yeah, so I can elaborate on that, guys. Thanks for bringing that point up. I forgot about that. One of the first Ys that came in, I saw that. I felt kind of bad because I pointed that out to the customer. I'm like, look, you see what happened to your trim here. And it wasn't because I was trying to make him feel bad. It's just because I wanted to make sure he understood where the car came in. Was able to polish it out, took a little extra work, typically an upcharge, but again, tell people that's another reason. So one of the services we're going to start offering, especially for the Tesla customers, we can ceramic coat just that anodized trim around those areas for you. I believe once we have the ceramic coating on there, it should resist that staining. The staining is what happens is in the touchless car washes is they typically run an alkaline wash first. So I believe it's the alkaline that's staining it. So it's a high pH number. Alkaline gets on there. They use alkaline because alkaline is very effective at breaking up road grime, breaking up dirt. That's what they do with that. So you use a real high alkaline, and then they blast it off, and then they'll come back in. And the next wash is an acid-based wash, and they'll use acid because acid will make things a little shiny on that. So that's kind of the chemistry and what's going on behind the scenes with it, and that and you'll probably see it worse in the wintertime, I would imagine, just because they'll run different chemicals through different seasons of the year at those touchless car wash and automatic car washes based upon what's going on and the condition the cars are coming. So good point. Guys, so we're at the last slide. I want to thank everybody tonight for their time, for being here. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the opportunity to sit here and talk to you about, for an hour and a half. Anybody that listens to me for an hour and a half about cars, I love you. It's great. Tickles me to death. This has been really fun. So if you need any help, give me a call, reach out. You can email us. If you guys ever want to do something with the club and do a shop day or come up in the morning and it's a group, let me know. If we get a group together, we'll do all this hands-on at the shop too. Happy to have you guys. Let's go out. So here's some highlights. So let's just talk about 4 nevers and washing the vehicles. So never go to automatic car wash, all right? It's not that the car wash is bad. It's not that the brushes are bad. It's that everybody else before you was bad. It's all that dirt, all that grime that's built up on the brush. You've got a bunch of sand on the brushes, and now all that sand is hitting your car. And you do that long enough, it's going to just scratch your car up. I kind of think about like if you go to a high-end hotel, they always give you a fresh towel. They don't make you go into the dirty towel bin, right? So you don't. It's the brushes are dirty. Never let the dealership or service center wash your car. Just please don't do that. If you have a ceramic coating in your car, get one of those tags, hang it from your windshield. Do not wash. Third point is, it's a simple rule, but follow it. When you're washing your vehicle, if you ever drop the wash mitt or you ever drop the towel, just stop. If you drop, stop. If you drop, stop. That's why we run 2 wash mitts. When I tell people if they're buying a package from us, I try to sell them. I said, look, you're going to want to buy 2 wash mitts. You're going to buy 2 towels from me. Not that it takes 2 towels to dry your Tesla, but you're going to really thank me that the first day you drop that towel, you have the clean one right there. You can grab it. You can finish up drying your towel, drying your Tesla. Especially if you're running against the water spots. Carl, to your water spot point, if you buy a big high quality towel like I have there, you'll find that it takes the water off quicker, faster, and that's also going to minimize your chance of water spots too. And look, just on a light note, just don't get consumed by any of this. Okay, there's some orange peel, maybe there's a dust nib in your paint. Look, you got an amazing vehicle. You want to buy paint protection film because you want to keep the vehicle looking new longer. You're buying ceramic coating because you want the vehicle to look cleaner longer. You do this, your car's going to look better than 95, 96% of the people out there anyways. So just enjoy it. Don't get consumed by it. Follow the 3 little tips there. Never go to the car washes. Don't let the dealer wash your car if you drop it. And then spend $20 to buy the grit guard. That's what I have. Any more questions? I'm here.
All right, let me let's see. I stopped sharing, right? You guys are all back.
We're here, man.
All right. So let's see. Any questions in the chat here? Let's see what we got here.
Yeah, I don't think there's any other questions in the chat, but with only about a dozen of us left, if people want to go off mute, they're welcome to ask questions at this point.
I saw Vic's comment. Thank you, Vic. Appreciate it. Thanks for the consideration.
Look like you're in a tunnel, Vic.
Yeah, Vic doesn't like to turn the lights on. You don't want to know what's going on behind him.
Okay.
Okay, I'm here. Thanks. Yeah, let me turn the light on.
Yeah, I was going to say, Vic, you currently look like you're living in you're like in a seance or something.
Yeah. Hold on.
Okay, so any questions for Bill? And thank you for doing this, Bill.
Yeah, of course, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, so let me just get personal here. So I got a model